Well, before you should try to answer that, not me. But before you try to answer it, find out if it's true. I mean, just because I said it doesn't make it true. You know. So check out and see if it's correct. The kind of thing that I was talking about. Okay, if you decide that it's true, I think you will. Then you ask what the motives are, and I think, you know, I mean, we all know the motives because we share them. I mean, it's careerism, trying to get ahead. I mean, we don't face real repression, and by world standards. On the other hand, you know I can list plenty of young people. That crack about taxi drivers wasn't a joke. If you go off in the wrong direction, you know, you aren't obedient, you may get weeded out. It happens to a lot of people. You may end up being a taxi driver or an adjunct, who's got a salary, a ridiculous salary in some college somewhere, even though you have 10 books and a PhD from Princeton. I'm thinking of a real person, and so on. So the pressures, there's an array of pressures which sort of guide people in certain directions, and it's a fact. I think we all should be aware of this just by introspection. If you start saying something, you end up believing it. In fact, I think that's probably the main technique of belief formation. You sort of do things and you say things, and then you give an internal justification for them, and pretty soon you really believe them. The whole educational system from the beginning is geared to that. It's geared to imposing obedience. People like you and me, let's say, who got to good colleges, didn't do it by telling our 8th grade teacher that we thought what he or she was saying was total nonsense, even if we thought it. We got there by saying, okay, it's total nonsense, but I'm going to do the assignment anyway, and I'll shut up. And people who didn't agree to that all the way through didn't make it to the good colleges, and they don't make it to the good jobs. So you end up with an extremely obedient elite, almost by very natural processes. And that's what it looks to me. Just think of your own experience. If it doesn't conform to this, I'd be really surprised. Yeah, a lot of stuff now. I mean, one of the great advantages of trying to work on these topics now is that an awful lot of stuff's translated into English. So, I mean, for years, 40 years, I've been writing a lot about things related to Israel, and I happen to know Hebrew, so people would have to mail me from Israel clippings. I got clippings this high, rooms full of clippings. Now you can get most of it translated on the internet. Not all, but a fair amount. And the same is true of a number of languages. I mean, Le Monde Diplomatique, which is a very good journal, comes out in English now. They got an English version. And it's not everything, but there's a lot of stuff around. I mean, there are things I read, but to tell you the honest truth, one of the first things I read when it comes in the morning is the business press. Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, for example, the opinion pages and the back couple of pages are like a comic strip. You read them for fun, But the front part is very good reporting. And the same with the Financial Times, except they don't have the comic strip. They just have straight good reporting and intelligent opinion. And it's understandable. I mean, they're talking to an audience. They're reaching an audience that has to have a tolerably realistic grasp of what the world is like. How do you stay rich otherwise? So the reporting is often very good. And I don't, there's just no answer that I know. I mean, you do have to read widely and very critically, of course.